Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Calling All Vegan show. I'm your host, Sue Spar, and sitting in again as co-host is our ambassador of anti-speciesism, Vish, who lives here at Wishbone Animal Rights Lab. This little cutie reminds us that casual speciesism is very prevalent in our society, and that common and seemingly benign actions, like making a wish on a wishbone, have serious consequences for animals. But look what's growing out of his broken clavicle from a seed planted in this most unlikely of places, bright green hope. Vish knows that the people snapping wishbones one day may go vegan the next. Our guest is a funny and entertaining guy, but also a logical and serious one, yet the two manage to not nullify one another. Using a wicked and effective combination of humor, satire, facts, logic, reason, and creative juice, he delivers a refreshing burn to combat and cope with the silliness we all endure as vegans. His wildly successful YouTube channel has almost 25,000 subscribers, and as of last night has enjoyed a mere 7,219,815 views, and his Instagram account was sitting at 94.2 thousand followers last night, but 94.5 this morning. Sorry for the misinformation, 94.6.
I'll make a debunk video later.
Yeah. I was hoping for a holiday miracle and that you'd hit the 100K mark, but I guess Santa didn't get my letter.
Yeah.
He's a sarcastic devil, but that's why we love him, and we're so glad he's on our side. Please welcome prolific content creator, social media influencer in the animal rights space, workout coach, author, metalhead, and being from Florida, no doubt a frequent dinner guest at Mar-a-Lago, Danny Ishay, aka Lifting Vegan Logic to Calling All Vegans.
Thank you so much. The first part where you were describing what I do was more eloquently put than I could even describe it. So it
Well, we'll take this show on the road.
Yeah. Just got the name wrong.
But it was the easy part that I screwed up. But anyway.
Usually how it is.
So Vish has been very excited to see you again. These two met down at the Animal and Vegan Advocacy Conference down in
We
Washington.
took a selfie together, I think.
Yep, and he has been dying to. He actually wanted to sit on your knee throughout all of
That's
this,
fun.
but oh really? Well, there you go. Wow, big day, huh, Vish? So you're here along with your girlfriend Tara, who grew up in this neck of the woods, or is from this neck of the woods.
Kind of. I've lived in like Ancaster, Hamilton area.
Oh well, there, yeah.
15 years.
So you're a long way from home, Dorothy. How did the two of you meet?
I was in the middle of a live stream, and someone asked my ethnicity. I said it. It was also her ethnicity. She mentioned it,
Wow.
and then she found me on Instagram, and then the DMs. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Aww.
I slid into it.
Trying to make her look like a stalker. Now, I understand you have a brother and sister who are veg or vegan. I don't know if they.
So I have two sisters and one brother.
Okay.
My brother is vegan. He's actually the one who made me.
The ones who aren't don't count. So we're.
Yeah. I only have one brother, no other siblings.
Yeah.
No, but she's one of my sisters is vegetarian, and she agrees with the ethics. She even commented on a post today, agreeing with it. But yeah, we just haven't really fully discussed, I think, the dairy industry, so I think we do that soon.
Right.
Her daughter, who's my niece, has been vegan since she was like 11 or 12. Super impressive.
Wow. Favorite niece, right?
Yeah, she's the best. She's had like chicken thrown at her when she was in middle school because kids are super immature and all these things. But she's still to this
People still do
day.
that nonsense when they grow up. Right?
Yeah, right. It's basically the same
Yeah.
behavior. But yeah, and then my brother is definitely like the main person. Like he saw the Gary Yourofsky speech, watched Earthlings,
Oh man.
and forced it down my throat, and I had no argument, and then eventually made the switch. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you how it came about, so I
Oh,
can
there you go.
just need my
Yeah.
pen, I'll just scratch
Yeah.
that one. I have a sister who's vegan as well. She actually helped co-found Wishbone, so
Oh wow.
keeps you from fighting as much, like when you
Yeah.
share
Get
someone's
closer.
ethics. What does your mom think of your online endeavors, though? Oh.
She thinks she thinks it's all very she thinks it's all really funny. She agrees with the ethics, but she doesn't necessarily put it into practice. If we ever have any conversations or debate around it, she of course has no argument.
Right. I should hope not.
Yeah. Well, also my brother, he has his bachelor's in physics, master's in electrical engineering, and then he's finishing a PhD in computer science.
Good
So
Lord.
you can imagine that when she goes up against either of us.
She just gets crushed. You just crushed this little lady into this.
But she's at the very least like very supportive of the dietary aspect of the philosophy. So
Yeah.
if we show up at an event, a family event, the vast majority of the dishes are vegan.
Yeah.
And also my family's Jewish, so it's also like convenient in that it's all kosher.
Right,
So,
yeah.
So you can
So
have,
certain things can't go together anyway.
yeah, like you can't combine beef and cheese, but you can if it's like vegan cheese, and then because
Yeah.
we're vegan, of course it's
Well,
not
like
real
a
beef.
plant-based cheeseburger.
Right, and the
let's
same
say.
with pork. So like vegan
Yeah.
pork or pig flesh, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, it is
Dead piggy.
dead pig flesh. You know, as a vegan makes it kosher, so we all kind of benefit in some way.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Humor is an extremely powerful tool, and delivered using compelling vehicles, it can be that spoonful of sugar that makes that bitter old vegan medicine easier to swallow. And then you add in creativity and unimpeachable facts, and that helps cut through the groupthink in our world, and it influences society's acceptance of new ideas. Can we get away with just about anything using humor?
Well, I have a very dark sense of humor.
Oh, really?
But I know, but like there's a lot of things.
It's darker.
There's many things. It's darker than you think, and
I've got an Irishman at home, he's dark.
I can't fully express it online because people are very
Yeah.
sensitive nowadays. So
yeah.
I kind of just go halfway, and it seems
Yeah.
to do the job. Maybe at some point,
You dial
I'll
it
take-
back
I'll take-
and up.
no, I'll go even more. I'll go even higher.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm finding this like middle ground with the humor thing, and joking about eating my cat every day seems to be the line right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can keep moving that line. Like if you keep, people get
Yeah.
used to anything, and then you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
give them more, right?
I find that I probably am a bit, I guess, exaggerative in my thinking about what may or may not offend people because.
Oh,
like,
a lot of
my-
things offend you.
Well, my girlfriend can attest. Like, there's some videos I'll upload, and I'm like a little anxious, like, oh, how's this going to be taken? And then it actually does quite well, and there's not really that many people that are offended. So I'm very precautionary, but
Yeah.
as time goes on, I'm getting more loose with it.
Yeah.
So it's.
Have a shot of tequila right before, and I bet you
Right.
you'll upload anything. So what or who makes you laugh?
I'm sure. I don't know if you guys know David Rams, the
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
the UK.
yeah.
He's told me that I'm part British, given the deadpan stuff.
Yeah.
It's true that many comedians that like take that approach, like Anthony Justin,
Very
or something
dry.
like that, just- yeah, so it's dry humor like that. I'm a big fan of George Carlin as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
definitely my favorite comedian. Who probably is more of a philosopher as well, not just a comedian. But anything that's just like super dark and like just edgy
Yeah.
type of humor.
Of course, I love that.
I just find the whole like pushing the envelope is a very like fun, like oh my, like it's almost an anxiety-inducing type of humor.
Yeah.
You don't
Should
wanna,
I,
like,
should I, should I?
yeah, you do it, and it's really messed up. So yeah,
Well, it's good to get a reaction from people. That's always
sarcasm is also, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with a group of friends who all we did was sarcastically crack on each other, and so you can ask my girlfriend.
That's very British, actually.
Yeah, right. So.
That is very British.
We grew up in
People
South
taking
Florida,
digs
so I
at
don't
each
know
other.
how that happened. But
Yeah.
like if you interact with me in person, even you can ask close friends of mine, I typically don't change my tone when I'm sarcastic, so you can't actually ever know if I'm being serious.
Damn.
And it actually backfires because there might be a time where I'm like, no, like this happened.
Yeah.
And then like my girlfriend's like, wait, did it really? I'm like, yes, it happened. You're being
Who are
sarcastic.
you? Obviously, he's sticking with you.
So
Yeah.
it's constant.
Do you think George Carlin would be vegan if he was alive today?
Yeah, so I think about that a lot. I think if he was given the appropriate facts, like when it comes to like the scientific research supporting plant-based diets and the environmental arguments, although I think sometimes he would crack on environmentalists, but maybe for other reasons. But I think if he was given those facts and just the logical argumentation.
Yeah,
like,
well, that was where he came from. Like everything was always.
He was very big on logic.
Yeah.
I think if like anyone who's well equipped to discuss the science, the environment, and the ethical aspects
He would
be
have
convinced. Yeah.
dominated.
He even
yeah.
spoke about chickens, I believe, in one segment and how terrible it is, like how we treat them. So I think he would.
I think so.
Yeah.
So you are known in the animal rights movement for your videos. Your content did start off rather serious, but in more recent years you've been adding in a lot of sarcasm and satire to your facts and logic. Oscar Wilde is attributed as saying that sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, but the highest form of intelligence. But he was such a sarcastic guy, maybe he was being sarcastic about it, I don't know. So I understand you majored in human communications in order to become a more effective animal activist, or being someone so well versed in said communications. Why does sarcasm work so well?
Yeah, I believe that, especially in the vegan community, we can be viewed as like very uptight. It's a very serious matter what we're discussing.
Yeah.
And people get so defensive when hearing like the vegan message. So I try to like lower people's defenses by using satire or sarcasm in these skits. And sometimes if an argument or a point is presented in a satirical or sarcastic way through a skit, and you're even like predisposed to be against vegans, but you laugh at the point that you made because it actually is true.
It's like, what? This is a vegan thing? Cool.
Right. And if you find yourself laughing, you're kind of agreeing with like, the underlying point. And that can work better for people than others who maybe when they hear a serious point, like from someone like Earthling Ed, who I think does a fantastic job, they just like they hear the serious point and it's like, well, I just like meat, whatever. So, so you have to, I'm a big fan of like multi-faceted.
Well, it disarms people to be,
Like people get comments sometimes on my page, like, I'm not vegan, but you've made me laugh here and there. And then over time, some of these people will send me direct messages being like, hey, I don't know if you remember what I said here, but like, now I'm getting more exposed to your animal rights arguments, and like I'm switching, and I'm, so
that's great.
It's super interesting, and it's hard to know if they would have done that if they weren't holding with the humor initially.
Of course, no, I think it's very powerful. But conversely, then when you use, because you use sarcasm in audio and video form, and there's less room for misinterpretation. But do you ever get people reaching out and complaining who didn't get it, and that's vegans included, where people just go, what?
I feel as though at the moment my audience they generally understand the sarcasm very well. So if you like watch the video and you also look at the comments, it's just like a sarcastic shit show. Yeah. And so it's hard to watch it. There's some people that like where they think I'm serious, and I'm like, how did you even? Because I put. Although I do the dry humor thing and it's hard to tell, I put a lot of like indication this is a joke, and like they still somehow manage to think I'm being serious. I'm like, okay, well I feel like there's always going to be a percentage of people that just don't like understand it or get it.
Yeah, well,
the majority.
They somehow navigate this world.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
Did you want to give a little shout out to your kitties? Do you have 2 kitties or 1 kitty?
There's a black cat named Nibs, who's my best friend's cat.
Oh, okay, because I've seen 2 kitties.
Right? And then Dexter's mine.
Oh yeah, the serial killer.
The serial killer. He's got this new cat named Mimi. That's her cat. Who actually, when we adopted her, they told us she was in perfect health, and we found out that she had some form of gum disease, such that she needed all of her teeth removed.
Oh, like stomatitis or something like that.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very painful.
It was very. She was drooling. She's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and her personality was clearly being suppressed by whatever pain she was feeling. Luckily, we convinced the adoption center to pay for all of it, so they did.
That's good.
And we got all of her teeth removed, and now she's like crazy and attacks
her normal self.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
you use a lot of gallows humor with these little guys, don't you?
Yeah, I actually adopted them just for content.
You need to get them on video with, when cats make that sound right before they vomit, that sound or whatever it is. Yeah. I know this is probably maybe an ancient Chinese secret, but we all want to know how you get yourself looking all sweaty when you're doing your
Yeah, so we have this.
I don't know if you're willing to share this.
That's fine. We have a spray bottle. And I also, the gel in my hair, for some reason, if you apply water all over it, turns into like this weird looking white thing.
Milk.
So it's like raw milk almost. So it looks like I'm sweating milk and like
Yeah.
you don't playing the meat either. It's
Yeah.
sweating, like, you're
Yeah.
sweating
Meat
milk.
sweats, but it
Right.
comes in.
Milk sweats.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically when I film those skits, it's like the first character who's just the normal person. I film all his parts, and then as I film the other person's parts, as the skits go on, they're progressively getting more and more sweaty. So I just spray myself between,
Yeah.
and then before you know it, it's actually like.
Who in this world do you wish most would go vegan? Doesn't have to be a celebrity. It could be someone just in your
It's
own.
probably just going to be from a utilitarian perspective, probably the person with the most influence, just because it would be the best. But in terms of personal, probably like my closest friends. I mean, like because they're good people
Yeah.
outside of their
Yeah.
support of.
You're just gonna have to tell them I'm carving you out of my life. if you
Right,
don't,
exactly.
They're like,
Yeah.
buddy,
Yeah,
thanks.
exactly. And like you just know someone from like childhood, and you know
I know.
them deep down, and like you know their values. But unfortunately, with the world we live
They're
in,
not
it
aligning
makes
with
it-
their.
Yeah, like it just makes it a lot. It's very easy to not be vegan because you don't have to be killing yourself. It's
Yeah.
there's social reinforcement around like 90% of the people, 99% of people around you that are not vegan. So it's like there's just too many. I would say like social barriers that make
Right.
probably otherwise good people just continue to like
Yeah.
to grab the meat instead of the.
Exactly. And it's a busy world, convenience, like the
Yeah.
sake of, we could give all the, what are we doing? We're giving them all the art,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So you're a fellow metalhead, and what could be more metal and badass and against the grain than rejecting and fighting against society's systemic exploitation of animals, for example, our broken animal-based food system? The punk and hardcore scenes seem to have gotten the memo, but metalheads generally don't share that ethos. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting because there's pretty awesome people in the metal community that like Alyssa from Arch Enemy.
Right, yeah.
And I think in Sepultura.
Sepultura.
How do you pronounce that?
Derek Green.
Yeah, Derek Green. So there's like
There are
some, but yeah, the vast majority.
Yeah.
Are not. I'm not sure. I mean, when I go to these metal festivals in Florida, it's definitely a lot of
That
like
sounds like a
conservative.
crazy scene.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of conservative
Yeah.
types.
Oh, really? It sounds like it's
you know.
crazy down
There's like one vegan food truck, and the rest is just a bunch of, you know.
Oh.
I'm not sure. It could just be the emotional. Like this is just pure psychological speculation, but the emotions that you get from metal are very like kind of
Yeah.
like hardcore. And
Yeah.
meat,
I listen to death metal, so that's, you know.
and meats is like associated with those traits. So maybe it could be something there, you know.
Let's open up this bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Exactly.
My voice is going. Do you listen to any vegan metal, and who's your favorite band? And you ever climb in the pit? My pit days are over.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
used
go
to-
in, but I can't.
I used to hit, but like not even that much when I was
Yeah.
younger. But nowadays I just
Once you
like
get
to-
one cocoa bonk to the forehead,
Yeah.
you don't want to go back in again.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, like I really enjoy live music to the point where I don't feel like being pushed infinitely while trying to hear it.
That's
like,
right,
it's not something I enjoy.
Oh, I like my comfort, like there's a place here in Toronto called the Opera Centre, and I know exactly where there's an air conditioning vent, and there's a little thing you can lean on. It's like, and of course, because I'm an old lady, I just say, oh, excuse me, oh, sure. And
That's
then-
so comfortable. Though. I would want that. Also, because maybe you have this in the notes, but I do play drums. So when
No,
I
I
hear
don't.
music,
Yeah.
I typically want to hear the drums and see what they do live because drummers often
Oh,
improvise.
I
And it's
know.
really, so I'd rather be doing those things and I just have a very like some people have a very physical relationship with music where like they want to move to it. My relationship with music is very like mental. I don't know how to explain
cool.
it. Like I'd rather just be able to fully
Absorb.
entrench myself into what I'm hearing and feeling and all that. So yeah, but System of a Down is my favorite band of all time. Then we have like Korn and Avenged Sevenfold that
I
are
had a
kind
dog
of
named
high.
Corn Dog.
Oh, do you?
Okay. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Not
Sorry,
not
don't
the
say
Q, not the Q.
No.
We gotta change it.
Yeah,
Um,
he's dead. He died.
Oh, you're talking. Sorry. Yeah. But when people say like who are your favorite bands, I typically name like the more mainstream ones, people know what I'm speaking about. There's also bands like Camelot. There's Porcupine Tree.
Oh, I know Porcupine.
You know Porcupine?
Yeah.
That's cool. Not many
Yeah.
people know them. They're psychedelic, very like just mind-bending music. I mean, I'd have to get like Disturbed, of course.
Yeah.
I like a lot of new
You made your
metal.
little down with the sickness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slipknot,
Yeah.
Deftones. Like I'm a big fan of new metal. I also like deathcore, death metal, even some black metal, like Dimmu Borgir, I think is.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've
yeah.
never known how to pronounce it.
Yeah, this-
Dimmu.
Yeah, I just say Dimmu Borgir.
Yeah.
Borgir. But, yeah.
Neither of us knows. So.
Yeah, no clue. But I love, there's Mushroom Head as well, which I actually have a tattoo of here, first tattoo. But yeah.
Well, let's get your shirt off. Please, Scott. It's okay. Yeah. I'm not one of those creepy old ladies,
Yeah.
don't worry. Now, you got to meet your UK counterpart back in May at the ABBA conference we were talking about. What was it like coming face to face with the object of your bromance, Mr. David Rams?
The first thing he said to me was, "You're a lot better looking in person."
Oh,
Which,
your little heart like must
Yeah.
have just exploded.
Yeah, I did for sure.
Yeah.
He's taller in person, so I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird to hear someone's voice when you hear their voice all
Yeah.
the time, just not in person.
Yeah.
And seeing someone's like mannerisms and things, either because the camera's a very like artificial thing, where
Right.
you
Yeah.
rehearse everything and whatnot. So yeah, it was just like, it's kind of just trippy, like to be blunt.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you weep openly and unashamedly?
I don't even know if we hugged or anything.
Oh,
We just kind
okay.
of shook hands.
Liberal.
We gotta be like manly about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but it was cool. And yeah, and then we met up in South Florida. After that, I went to the Everglades, which is cool. I look forward to meeting pretty much any creator that I interact with in person or online, because it's just like, it's always just very different, like
Yeah.
from the virtual world, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like you've known each other then your whole lives. Once you
Yeah.
start to, like, it takes a couple minutes and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like little girls at a slumber party.
Right, right.
Jenny and I have never been to a slumber party. We're gonna have one here, we're having one here at the lab, yeah. We're gonna braid each other's hair and paint each other's toenails. Yeah, that's, oh, okay. Pardon? I used to hold something called Veg Talks, and they're like the familiar TED Talks, but with a bright green vegan twist. And one of the panelists was Isaac Brown, AKA Ask Yourself. Name the Trait is brilliant. Well, yeah, we'll just talk about it. I attended a talk featuring Brian Greene. He's a string theory guy who's also a vegan, and Sam Harris. It was a double whammy. Isaac stood up to the mic and asked Sam to play Name the Trait about animal exploitation.
I watched that video like 10 times.
Yeah, Sam pretty much crapped the bed, I'd
He didn't
say.
answer the question.
Yeah, he crapped the bed. Can you tell us a bit about this method and just why it's such a great tactic?
Yeah, well, Name the Trait, it's basically asking the person, like, what is it that's present in a, we'll say, what is it that's present in animals which justifies killing for food, which if we're present in a human would justify killing them for food? It's essentially just a logical consistency test.
Yeah.
There's more palatable ways to say it to like general layman, like,
Yeah,
What is
it can
the-
be a bit academic if you
Yeah.
do it, say it how you just said it.
how I normally say it to people online is like, what is the difference justifying that differential treatment or something? And I might even give them an example so they know what I'm trying
I
to
think
say.
that's the thing.
Because some people will be like, what, you're asking for a difference? Obviously they're different. I'm like, I'm not asking for they're different.
Well, it just goes,
Obviously they're different.
like, did
Yeah.
you see their hair
Yeah.
blowing back when you say
Right.
it a certain
But like there's a phrase like morally relevant difference, so
Yeah.
that's another way, but some people still don't listen when you
Yeah.
speak, so. But yeah, and it's just, you can apply it to literally anything. It's not just a vegan thing, it's literally just logical consistency.
we only have so long, so we're just gonna apply it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but you can, like, if someone goes like, I think it's fine to kill this person, and you go, oh, really? So would you kill this person if they did that thing too? Like, that's just all Name the Trait is, like, you're
Has
just,
to be
you're
logical.
seeing consistency,
Yeah.
right? Because without consistency, it's just literally incoherent. It's like,
Yeah, and you make
contradicting
yourself a
yourself.
hypocrite in
Yeah.
so many ways.
So many people, they often say like, oh, like intelligence justifies killing animals, but not humans, and
Well, you're
like,
not
what do you-
very bright, and I know a dog who's
Right.
much smarter than you.
Yeah, ironically, they're kind of telling themselves there.
Yeah, exactly.
But intelligence is a
Projection.
very they're like basically asking to be farmed after the conversation.
Yeah.
But intelligence is like a very ambiguous term. Like, so usually ask, what do you mean by that? And they'll say, I don't know, animals don't have a sense of tomorrow, for example. And I'm like, okay, so certain mentally handicapped humans that don't have a sense of tomorrow, can we farm them infinitely like we do with animals.
Yeah, breed them, farm them.
And they have to say yes.
Yeah.
If they don't, then they're
Right.
contradicting themselves, because I asked them, like, what is the
Yeah.
morally relevant difference we apply to humans? They say no. Yeah, so it's just like, to me it's the most like cutthroat way, like just to get past everything.
There's just
like,
no argument,
Yeah.
right? There's no.
well, you can, technically you can have a psychopathic consistent
Oh,
position.
well,
Like
there
some
you
people might just be like, yes. I'm like, so you're cool with farming?
Carry on,
certain-
like if you're
Yeah.
not gonna get,
Yeah.
pick your battles.
But then with them, I usually say like, do you really think that, or you're just trying to be consistent? And you can kind of see in their facial expression.
Yeah.
They're full of shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you just kind of break eye contact if you find out,
Yeah.
I think they really are
Right.
this crazy.
it's actually probably better to ask people before you even bring up veganism. If they
Are you a
think it's
psychopath?
that, or like just saying, hey, just hypothetically, if we can farm certain humans who have X property, like, would you? They're mostly going to be like, of course not. But once it's about veganism and
Yeah.
their burgers at stake, then they'll
Yeah,
have a
just
weird-
get that out of the way and then you can,
Right.
yeah, we're strategic. Speaking of Sam Harris, so many of the world's most brilliant, logical minds are attached to people who still consume animals and give the same dumb excuses as the rest of the general pop. I watched cringing and embarrassment when Sam Harris or Neil deGrasse Tyson or Matt Dillahunty, people like that, and other critical thinkers, they pretty much turn into idiots, and they contort themselves into pretzels, like with their mental gymnastics to rationalize. Why?
But I mean, I actually have a video from like 4 years ago called "Why Veganism Makes Smart People Stupid," and Sam Harris is actually in the thumbnail, and Neil deGrasse, I believe, which is funny that you mentioned those two.
Well, they're the ones who, they're very vocal about it, and they're so
Yeah.
smart. Like, how?
Yeah, I would say Neil just should stay in cosmology.
Yeah, like when he starts his yapping about steak and
Yeah. He's like, do you know that trees bleed? And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I think that people are just very attached to their habits.
Yeah.
And oftentimes conceptual switches in your position on certain things, whether it's like a belief in God or whatever, these things don't typically require a daily lifestyle shift. But when it comes to veganism, you actually have to like be like, okay, yeah, I recognize that, that's true, and I should be doing X. But X is literally for the rest of my life, changing what I eat. And vegans here can all attest that it's the easiest thing ever once you just know what you're doing. But when you don't know what you're doing, it looks like it's a lot, and you can be motivated to then find these like Olympic level mental gymnastics.
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to do. And it's just like, yeah. So I think if I was in a room with Sam and we just sort of, there was no audience, so there was no social pressure or anything, I could probably break him down, just accept it, and be like, yeah, okay, you know. But
Start with crushing his spirit, and
Right.
then you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not to like say that I'm so much smarter. Like he's brilliant in a lot of ways. I don't think that veganism really is like that hard to understand. It's more of like being willing to like being aware of all the crazy things that happen in people's brains when they get challenged on it,
Yeah.
because there's all this pressure. Everyone around them does it. Society is reinforces from birth. So
Yeah.
you have to almost be able to like unravel all of that and then face the topic head on,
Right.
honestly. And I had no real attachments to eating meat when my brother put it on me, like veganism. So when he brought it up, I just kind of was like, oh, true.
Yeah, it's almost just stubbornness on their part or something, or,
Yeah.
you know, people expect them to be authorities on everything, but they only have so many lanes where they're authorities. And
Yeah.
then veganism obviously is so outside of their bailiwick.
Right. It's interesting because as I'm getting more and more into nutrition science, I'm seeing how many doctors online are talking about nutrition that are so wrong.
Oh,
But they're doctors and they film their reels with like the stethoscope and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
People think that because you're like a bariatric surgeon or something that you must understand nutrition research like better than a layman. In reality, like, you know, nutrition training for
It's just
doctors is
yeah.
pretty much nothing.
yeah.
And I apply that kind of thinking to even someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about moral philosophy or even biology in the case when he speaks about plants. Like he's not a biologist.
Dude,
and that's
just
not to
stick
say-
to cosmology.
Right. And that's not to say that you can't speak competently about
Sure.
topics outside of your domain, but in order to, you need to like take some time to actually delve into the topic. It seems like Neil just kind of, someone who appreciates science generally, thinks that he can just kind of apply like whatever like baseline level of thinking to that when really, you know, it's a lot more complex than that.
Your creativity appears to know no bounds, and you're also an author.
Yes.
Debunking every argument against veganism with logic and reason. So if I gotta ask you to sign that too, if you wouldn't mind, please. I promise not. I won't
My
forge any
signature's
checks.
horrible, but I
Yeah.
can-
Well, look, you saw my cheese platter, so
Yeah,
there.
Equal level.
So it is essential reading with inarguable responses for 40 of the common justifications people use for exploiting animals. In essence, it's sort of a handbook of well-crafted logical comebacks, I suppose, to many of the notions and arguments that Carnists and other animal exploiters typically fire at vegans. And it strikes that delicate balance too of presenting facts and logic without sounding smug and preachy. So who are the target audiences for this book?
Yeah.
After that big preamble.
Well, I will say too
That's a crafty question, but.
Right, of course.
But I liked all the words I used, so I had to keep.
No, that was
Yeah.
better than the book itself. I think.
No, not at all.
No, so it's funny because the title itself is actually, I should say, it's kind of clickbaity because like the word every, like, I'm not going to make an infinite book, so it's there.
Yeah.
Although I could update it over time,
Yeah.
But the audience that I'm targeting is going to be, it's going to be vegans that are aiming to refine their like argumentation, new vegans who don't know the shitstorm that's coming from their
Oh
family
God,
and
they
their friends
have
when
no
they announce
idea.
they're
They
vegan.
have no idea.
And then also meat eaters that think, like there's many people that will just come into my DMs or my comment section, just saying the standard bullshit. And so I just kind of I send them a message saying, give me your email and I will, because I have a physical version and an ebook version. So I said, give me your email, I'll just send it to you for free.
Oh, I
and come
went
back.
for the physical.
Right. Yeah, the physical,
money
it's
here.
actually quite new actually, since camp out. Someone told me, why don't you just print it? I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, they came up to me with a printed version of my ebook. And, and they were like, why don't you just do this? And I was like, oh, true. So I went to Amazon and
Yeah.
they made it super easy.
Well, yeah, they do all the work.
But it's definitely going to be those kind of three audiences. But yeah, and then people that I email to, a lot of times they'll come back and be like, I read the whole thing and okay, yeah, you know, I have no, that was great. I have no argument against it.
And it's broken out into level 1, level 5, and level 10 anti-vegan arguments. Can you just kind of briefly explain the differences between the categories? I mean, I saw like when you read the.
Right. Yeah. Well, level 1 is going to be like the basic things like, oh, eating animals is natural, animals are already dead in the store, like things like that that require about 5 seconds of rebuttal. And then level 5 is going to be something in between that and the harder ones that require getting a little into like some philosophy and everything. You're not really going to rebuttal it within like 1 sentence, but you probably need some explanation, like maybe like a little paragraph or something. And then level 10 is like, okay, hold on, like you need to discuss some things before we get into this because there's a lot of things happening when somebody makes this particular argument or claim against.
For sure. The word privilege gets thrown around a lot these days. In our world, the human is the greatest privilege of all. Non-human animals are the most oppressed beings on the planet. Some people claim veganism is ableist, classist, colonialist, white privilege, etc., and they feel justified in continuing just dismissing veganism. Are there any of these more woke arguments against veganism you'd like to include in a revised edition of your book?
Potentially, yeah. I believe one of the arguments I say is like veganism is expensive, which kind of like, in some ways connected there, but not necessarily. I mean, I'd perhaps more so just talk about the irony of people that are anti-oppression, supporting like the most oppressed beings on the planet being oppressed. It's kind of like, you know, and it's honestly it's kind of related to what I said with the smart people like that have an easy time adopting like maybe more like complex thinking positions that don't require a change in their habits. Same with these people, like they're against oppression, and then like the moment that they have to actually like make a daily switch in their life to stand in alignment with that opposition to oppression, they're just like, actually, so
perhaps I was hasty.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Now, with their way up high platforms, how dangerous are the comments recent comments made by Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Andrew Tate, and other bros about various speciesist practices.
Yeah, well, I'll say that as a male, I think
Are you a
that-
bro? You're a good bro.
Definitely a bro.
Yeah.
As a dude, I think that there's a lot of people on this side of the human species that are just honestly, they're more moved by like someone's presence than the actual words they're speaking. So things like Andrew Tate and like these like kind of like dominant kind of like dominant males are like in the way they speak is enough for them to be like, yeah, veganism's like for for pussies or whatever.
I knew, it's okay, I knew you were gonna say it, I'm like, go ahead, it's okay, yeah.
Right. And like,
John
actually,
Joseph, he's got a book, Meat is for Pussies.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And
it's
it's actually,
pretty cool.
it's triggering for me
Yeah.
because I know that these dudes are all, like, they try to act like, like logic and reason is how they operate. And, like Ben Shapiro has that, like, facts don't care about your feelings phrase. And like, so whenever one of these people that think they're so factual and logical come to my page and they start, like, reciting some Andrew Tate quote about veganism or Joe Rogan, I get so excited because I'm like, dude, you have no idea, like, that
Welcome.
you're being so illogical.
Sit
with
down,
this,
sit down.
And I named the trait, I didn't name the trait thing
Oh,
on them,
you little
and
devil.
they're contradicting themselves, and I'm like, oh, not too logical, actually, so.
You're just salivating when
Yeah,
you
it's
show
just
up,
fun,
huh?
it's fun. It's like, really, like, people think that veganism is like this emotional thing, and there's this whole logical aspect to it, and there's a really rich scientific community, like, Dr. Matthew Nagra, and there's other people that aren't so known
Yeah.
as well, that are so good at, like, research methodology and appraising studies, and also in the environmental side as well.
Oh, I know, like,
So
we've got all of
it's
it
crazy.
on our side, yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of like the Saw guy when they show up and it's like, do you want to play a game?
Yeah,
Like
right.
that. Authoritarianism, unfortunately, is on the rise around the planet. Even here in polite little Canada, we have the leader of the Conservative Party. He's kind of like a little Trump Jr. I'm sorry if other people are, but his love light shines brightly for disinformation and big corporations, the rich and far-right principles. Do you think the Trump presidency will have on animals and the planet the second time around? And what are some steps that animal activists can take to combat this?
Yeah, last year and a half to 2 years, there's been a big push for like raw milk and like the animal-based, even raw meats, which is hilarious, like just really
Yeah.
bad.
Well, it's
and-
lots of fodder for your videos, like
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
endless
Yeah,
material.
exactly. And when I go to those people's pages, like, you might see some conservative values or politics or a Trump supporter or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I figured that when Trump got elected that we'd have this unique problem of raw milk and animal-based diets in general being more prioritized. Like, there's even people that are trying to change the 2025 guidelines to be more pro-saturated fat, which is also an issue. Also, like, the RFK is a full-blown proponent of raw milk and wants to legalize it federally. So things like that, and him, I think, being like one of the head of the CDC now, or that's what Trump's trying to do.
HS or something,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think it's CDC, but I'm not.
Okay, yeah.
But essentially, like, reinforcing that animal products are like really healthy is just a problem.
So dangerous.
And RFK has tweeted against cultivated meat and plant-based meat as well in the past. So it also wouldn't. I imagine he wouldn't be supportive of that. So
What a clown.
yeah. So,
Really, just,
Yeah. Among other
it's heartbreaking.
positions, yeah. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's more about in the diet space, these like ridiculous ancestral animal-based, non-processed diets that are being pushed. And this idea that like natural necessarily equals better than like processed or like
Yeah.
unnatural. And there's research like looking at serum B12 levels in between children that are fed meat for B12 or fortified cereal. Children eating the fortified cereal have higher B12, showing that artificial food can actually do better in some cases. Raw milk is natural, even though it comes from artificially inseminated cows, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But there's still this
Well,
risk
it's
of
full of,
food
like, these animals fear, like these hormones that they're releasing and stuff, and you're ingesting
Yeah.
those.
Like
Just even, to be a pregnant
Right.
female, like you give off all these
Yeah,
hormones
yeah.
and lactating.
And like there's also just like the water supply, like sanitized water is not natural, but it's better for you than non-sanitized water.
Yeah.
Same with like pasteurized milk is going to be healthier than raw milk, but it's artificially pasteurized.
Yeah.
So I think that movement of natural equals better is probably going to be more reinforced under the Trump presidency and what RFK wants to do. And that also indirectly makes people think that vegan meats are bad because they're going for this more natural thing. When, there's like new data so far on like comparing like Beyond Meat to grass-fed organic meat, and it seems to do better with like cardiovascular disease risk factors, CRP, which is like a risk factor,
protein
it's for inflammation, like a marker for inflammation.
Yeah.
And there's other ones too with like mushroom-derived vegan meats, just finding similar things. So, it's just because something is processed doesn't mean that it's bad. Tofu is processed doesn't mean that it's bad. Same with even protein powders. Many people use that are processed, but then they object to the vegan ones that are processed. It's like not. I think generally speaking, people are just motivated to find reasons to make veganism less convenient. Like you bring up the vegan meats, and they go, "Oh, but isn't that processed?" Well,
Yeah, they just
processed foods
demonize
over here.
it. Yeah.
They're always looking for like some way to reinforce the notion that being vegan's not practical or not healthy or
So I'm curious what you think about the so-called vegan celebrities who are no longer vegan.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look more into a lot of their stories, they were more like plant-based for health.
Or just curious. Like
Yeah, I think certain news outlets, even like some vegan ones, they get very hyper excited for celebrities indulging in something like plant-based eating or even like being vegan, like even in an animal rights sense. They'll do that a bit too quickly, and even nowadays I see like in the comments, like people are starting to catch on and be like, "Oh, they're actually plant-based," but most posts have more likes than comments, so you can infer that most people are still believing that this person is for sure vegan and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I don't really take celebrity vegans too seriously unless it's somebody like Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah. He walking the walk, don't he?
Right. Exactly.
I just made that.
That was great. His brother's more creative than my concept.
Yeah. Stick with me.
It's just like over time I just don't really take it seriously. But going back to what I said about people wanting to feel like being vegan is bad, I also think that one of the things that drives those stories to be shared so much, like celebrities no longer being vegan, is this underlying urge to make veganism look bad. Like, oh look at this celebrity, they tried it, they didn't they failed.
They just latch right onto that, don't they?
Or those like raw vegans that don't even drink water for 6 years and die.
Or drink their own urine.
Or drink their own urine. Oh, like veganism is unhealthy now. It's like okay.
No, I think the fact that you were guzzling your own.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say a nasty word.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's funny because the most recent one, this is obviously a super sad case, this woman who was a fruitarian who only got her water from fruits and she never drank water for 6 years directly, died. The cause of death still hasn't, I think to this day, been verified, but like that story got spread everywhere, and people are like, see, like veganism is, and it's like, okay, well, I drink water.
Yeah. Good plan. Yeah. Good move. Unreal.
Yeah.
Animal activists have no stake in advocating for animals, financial or otherwise, so no skin in the game to be unvegan about it. It's a very selfless movement. I believe it was Gary Yourofsky, my hero, who said something along the lines that if all the social justice movements sat around a table together, including animal rights, when it came time to order lunch, chicken wings would be on the menu. What do you think about people who care deeply about human rights and are prepared to intersect with one another's causes, but are no different than everybody else in turning a blind eye to the oppression of animals?
Yeah, well, I think probably anthropocentric bias plays a role there. So
I do say the word Anthropocene later in my script. So.
It's like bias for human beings,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, how do I explain? Like, so
Speciesism.
speciesism is also reinforcement of like valuing certain species over the other.
Yeah.
There's all the things I kind of mentioned about like how far slaughterhouses are from the average person.
Yeah.
How it's from birth that this is reinforced. The thing with things with like, for example, like slavery, it was still human beings, so like you couldn't really have like anthropocentric bias there.
Right.
But with animals, it is still like harder.
Although
to,
they would say that they were animals and
Right.
not human beings.
Right.
That's
I think
still,
the fact
they
that
were still
like, probably
human, yeah.
harder to have that
course.
bias, right?
Yeah.
It's just a lot, and it's right now it's socially acceptable to like send steak gifts on vegan posts, and like no, there's not really much shame for it. I would say collectively, obviously vegans shame it individually, but like you can just do this, and it's like fine. You can make jokes about them, about
Yeah.
animals being like killed by the trillions, and it's easy. But right now, like racist jokes and sexist jokes and all these things are rightfully so socially
Yeah.
vilified. But when it comes to animal rights, we're just not there yet, and I think it just takes time to get the message out, convince
Yeah.
people, and
Hopefully in our lifetime, because I'm only living to 100.
yeah, we're vegans, it's gonna be like 120.
Yeah, I got an extra 20 in me.
Right, yeah.
But it's possible that activists are naturally wired to fight, even amongst ourselves, unlike the more conservative mainstream who kind of walk in lockstep with one another,
Yeah.
agree with one another. Intersectionalism often divides activists in our community. Some feel intersectional activism builds a stronger, more effective movement. Others, despite agreeing that employing intersectionality between human on human oppression works well, feel the fight for animal rights is a completely different beast. Bridges are being built, but these bridges often only go one way with little reciprocation for animal rights. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's funny that you're mentioning infighting, because people often call us a cult, but it's probably
I
the most,
left a cult.
it's probably well, it's also probably the most contentious cult ever. All
Yeah,
these different people.
that's
that
right,
run
yeah.
into, but, you know.
Already?
I got that from Cameron Waters' brother from Christ Spears. He said that, which was very funny to me. But the intersectional stuff, I mean, there's probably some overlap between some of the arguments people make for the oppression of animals and the oppression of like marginalized human beings. Whether we should adopt a strategy that encompasses both forms of oppression, like there might be some utility there, maybe to people who identify as intersectional activists, and it maybe appeal to them more. But there's also people that find intersectionality to be pretty unpalatable, and for them it might make the vegan message worse to them. So I think it has more to do with like who your audience is.
Yeah. Well, different strokes for different folks, right? I mean, we're
Right.
all, each of us is wired uniquely,
Yeah.
so you have to resonate with different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the beginning of becoming a vegan activist and a vegan, a lot of people are very like, this is the way to do it, and like how you're doing it is
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Exactly.
it's like, but as you get older, you kind of just, at least for myself, I've gained more of a respect for like most styles,
Yeah.
and like I just don't really, like I don't get butthurt over like. This person's said it this way, and I don't like the way they said it, so I'm
At
gonna get
least
mad.
they're doing something.
Sorry, yeah, that too. It's another thing if someone's going around saying like oh, like drinking milk is vegan if it's from a like that's crazy. There's something like that. I was like, okay, that violates like the animal rights. But in terms of the style of advocacy, that seems like more of a subjective thing. We don't have good data in showing what is more effective, or, you know. So it's like I just don't really feel much emotionally when I see someone do a style of activism that deviates from mine,
Right.
Unless they're doing something that's like completely in violation
Yeah.
of veganism or
Yeah.
something like that. So,
Yeah, I get you.
yeah.
Is there a certain, I mean, of course we care about all of the issues, but is there a certain animal issue that just rips you apart? Like lobsters in tanks, for some reason,
Yeah.
that just makes me crazy.
I think the dairy industry has always been
Yeah.
one for me, just because of like the nature of the exploitation is like very
Oh God,
It's
they
like
hit
cyclical,
they check
and it's-
every box.
yeah they do all of it. So probably that. I do think this isn't talked about much in the vegan community, but at some point I think wild animal suffering should also be considered.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to like numb out from that, because you've even been told like it's just natural, like it's fine to just let this happen. But like it's a little bit speciesist in my opinion, because we already for humans have put ourselves in a more artificial environment to protect us from nature. So I'm not sure why we can't, to some extent, work to doing this with other animals. But
I know, we either
That's it.
separate ourselves from nature or we're in conflict with nature. There
Yeah.
just doesn't seem to be any
Yeah.
harmony between us.
yeah,
and
and I'm not an
natural world.
ecologist, so I don't. And
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here making any claims about like if we do this, then I'm sure it'll be fine long term. But I think it should at least be a conversation.
Well, we've impacted them so much ourselves that now we do have to help them.
Yeah.
Like, if we had
ironic.
just left well enough alone all, like, from the beginning, it'd be different, but,
Yeah.
you know, now it's like, well,
Yeah.
we caused this, so now we
Right.
have to do something.
After adopting Dexter the cat, and seeing what like outdoor cats go through, and hearing stories about cats getting like run over and like all that.
It's a
I think
dangerous world.
I think it's kind of messed up that like it's just fine to like allow cats to just be outside and drink dirty water, decimate ecosystems, and get run over by cars.
Well, that's it, and
I don't
they get
know.
predated upon by
That's it.
coyotes
That's
and,
it.
you
Yeah.
know.
So there's that too, which just started after adopting Dexter and like gaining
Yeah.
newfound empathy for like cats.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Now, you had a pretty spirited back and forth with ChatGPT,
All right.
but which human would you absolutely love to debate?
Which human? Probably Joe Rogan. Just like a principled conversation, you know?
Yeah.
Because like he, when it comes to him and empirical claims, he just says things, and to have like a more empirical discussion, we needed like a data exchange before. But if we just simply talked about like the principles of things, and like I would like to name the trade him as well. Did you?
Oh,
Joe Rogan getting named the trade, it sounds like a dream. You know?
wow.
You know, but yeah, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Non-vegans get very concerned that the dismantling of animal exploitative industries will cause the economy to collapse, similar to when people expressed worry over the abolition of slavery, decimation of the tobacco industry, and replacing the horse and buggy. Will the world keep turning if we achieve animal liberation?
I mean, yes. like there is, first of all, if the world ever goes vegan, it very likely will not happen overnight.
No.
If it did, sure, we'd have some like temporary economic problems, but it's probably going to happen gradually, which means that jobs would gradually be replaced. And also, as you gradually get closer to a vegan world, you have more sanctuaries popping up, more funding for sanctuaries popping up. So, the leftover animals
Whole
would
new
just be,
industries.
yeah.
Coming.
So the leftover animals would just be put there, and that's it. People think like I said, it's going to happen overnight. So we're going to have billions of animals. What are we going to do with them? That's not going to happen. They'll slowly, so.
Yeah. Cell-cultured meats, cheeses, eggs, etc., are going to be the game changer for trillions of animals. If we can just get people kind of past this stigma about laboratories and frankenfoods, and I think if we get them thinking more along the, how we brew beer and we culture cheese, and it's kind of give it kind of an artisanal feel. I don't know. Can you talk about the importance of this getting a toehold, like starting to?
Well, I think the phrase like "I could never give up meat," you hear it a lot, especially when you first go vegan. You talk to people about it, and I think there's some people who sincerely mean that, and because those people exist, I think cultivated meat is very important to develop for them. The whole like stigma around it being artificial, it's like again like animals currently are forcibly artificially inseminated. They're given antibiotics which aren't natural.
Yeah.
These farms in general just aren't natural, so the objection on the basis of nature is just inconsistent.
Well, they keep putting out these bucolic images, though.
Right. Looks very natural. And with the natural fences around the
Right. Yeah.
and also molecularly identical forms of meat. If you're afraid of lab-grown meat, but it's like this, it's literally the same thing.
It's
right?
just grown in a different vessel.
It's like it's like mimicking the process that occurs in a cow, but like outside of a sentient being, which is pretty cool.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Also, there's even things where you can maybe affect macronutrient profiles. So maybe like lower saturated fat, make more of the fat content be more polyunsaturated, which can help.
Yeah, you have way more control over this.
Yeah, so it can arguably be healthier.
Well, if they have a little God complex, they can
And it's funny because when I'm from Florida, and they currently banned the selling of the cultivated meat, which I'm not too worried about. I think for the most innovative technologies, there's initial resistance, but
for sure.
I do not to like politicize things, but I do hope that maybe like the right side of the political spectrum demonizing cultivated meat, it at least causes it to be more of a left-leaning.
Well, it also gets people talking about it too. Like it builds up more curiosity. Anyway, right? So.
Yeah, and I think it should eventually, like, especially with like talk about the climate, should be like a left-leaning mainstream talking point. And I don't want veganism to be based on like left-leaning values or right. I want it to just be something for everybody.
Exactly.
Because I think if you break down even the values of people that are on the right, they object to animal cruelty where it suits them, but deep down, if you run the trait on them, that it's really all around. So I want it to be a thing for everyone. So we got to stop the whole like artificial demonization stuff.
Right.
It's getting in the way of cultivating meat being large scale.
Life in the Anthropocene, see? I did
there
have
you
it. Humans seem to wake up each day hell-bent on extincting ourselves despite knowing better. Worse, we're taking other species down with us. If you were a betting man, which among climate change, antibiotic resistance, or zoonotic disease would you vote as the most likely cause for human extinction? Go.
Probably climate change.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then zoonotic. I mean, there could be something that's super lethal and spreadable that which would kill us probably faster than climate change if it occurred in the next 50 years or something. But probably climate change. Unless some ridiculous zoonotic disease sparks.
Yeah. Do cows give milk or do humans take it? These are just quick little questions.
They take it.
Okay. In a dance-off, who would win, Earthling Ed or Joey Carbstrong?
Probably. I feel like Ed because he's like a DJ. He's more. I don't know. I've never seen either dance. Right?
Yeah. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
Is David Rams a natural redhead? Let's not get into cartoons and curtains.
His beard is.
Yeah.
Natural red beard.
Have you ever liked one of your own posts?
I like.
Just to get the thing,
I like
get
all
the
my
ball
posts
rolling?
on Dexter's account every day.
Oh. Is it deceitful to consumers to call plant-based products cheese, meat, egg, etc.? And well, if it is, then it's goodbye peanut butter, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty obvious with the labeling, like what you're looking at. It's like the packaging is normally green. They make it pretty obvious. Like if you think consumer literacy is that bad, then we should probably target education.
I have no hope for our planet. Yeah. And finally, is the lifting vegan part of your name literal? And would you care to bench press a vegan, namely me?
Well,
or fish.
Yeah, right. Well, people always ask this question, and it's funny because when I made my Instagram, it was more of an expression of things that I like doing, like lifting. I like veganism and logic, right?
Yeah.
But people do think like, are you like trying to like lift vegan logic to the public? Which I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh, that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
No,
and
it's
that
literally
you were also a lifter. I thought like it had a double entendre.
No, it's literally just like 3 words that describe what I like.
Oh, I see.
And it also, that's LBL too, which is kind of catchy. Like people
level up.
Like LBL, it's easier to L's in the vegan side. So I don't know.
That's very good. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're going to share all of your contact details and everything on screen and in the show notes. But what's the best place to support your work?
Definitely through Patreon, which is linked in my Instagram bio. It's in the pinned comment of majority of my videos on YouTube. And then if you want to donate straightforwardly and not have Patreon take a portion, you can just message me or email me directly on Instagram or Twitter.
Let me just get a little donation for you. Pull it out. Yeah. Covers you.
Get your checkbook out.
Yeah. Among all the forms of social advocacy, animal rights is the new kid on the block, meaning we're dismissed and ignored even by other social justice movements. We live in an indoctrinated speciesist world. Our savvy and sophisticated opponents with their vested financial interests have very deep pockets. Only a small fraction of the population is engaged in animal advocacy. Attention spans have decreased. You may have already just drifted off while I'm reading this. Yeah. People are consuming mis, dis, and malinformation at an alarming rate, and generally humans walk in lockstep with whatever is popular, trending, or normal. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, creativity and humor are potent forces that can penetrate protective mechanisms, grab attention, and speak to people on a more intuitive level. This can go a long way in normalizing veganism, shifting public opinion against animal exploitative industries, and make animal rights and planet protection the new normal. So I'm very grateful to people like Danny who are standing up for our beloved animals and the earth in clever, compelling, effective ways. I will, well, when the video comes out, I'll leave you with one of Lifting Vegan Logic's videos to both lift our vegan logic and our spirits. Thanks again, Danny.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Great.
We are thankful for the animal who gave its life for our dinner tonight.
Sorry, what?
We're thankful.
What do you mean gave its life?
Yeah.
The animal, stop touching me. The animal was killed against their will. They didn't give you anything.
Oh, but listen, they were actually killed humanely.
What does that mean? They were killed humanely.
Humanely.
Yeah, it was stress-free. I looked at the package. It was like all humanely killed. Yeah, trust the package.
So it's okay to kill someone as long as they don't feel stressed when you're killing them.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. That's exactly.
Yes.
You all agree with that?
Yes, because God
You don't
gave
touch
us.
it. Why your eyes are closed? Why?
God gave
We're having a
us.
conversation. We're not praying anymore.
But God gave us dominion over the animals and the plants, and we're thankful for the animal in the same way we're thankful for the potatoes and
Wait,
the cucumber.
so these animals were forced bred into existence artificially by humans. What do you mean, God?
But listen,
You can just stop.
listen. We have to because this is a great source of protein. It has tryptophan and it makes you feel better. And
You can get tryptophan from.
you know, I get where you're coming from. I actually tried to become vegetarian, but my left arm actually fell off.
You felt amputated.
Yeah.
How do you have it now? What happened with that?
I remember that. I remember when your arm fell off and you.
Why are your eyes so close?
I got better.
Just recently.
It regenerated like a lizard or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B12.
Like B12 regenerates arms that fall off.
Yeah. I saw that on TikTok.
You're all convinced of what he's saying?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna go. No, I don't know why you're still touching it.
Don't go.
I'm gonna go now.
Eating.
You guys can enjoy your dead animal.
Are you sure?
You
guys
guys are so
I have
rude.
so much
This is like a
work
cult.
in the
This is
kitchen.
not acceptable.
That's why you don't invite vegans at dinner table.
Vegans deserve to burn in the fiery pits of hell.
Humanely.
Humanely.
Of
God,
course.
God is merciful.
Of course.
So
Of course.
forget. I mean, let's just eat. No?
Yeah. Oh wow, that looks delicious.
Oh my
Or
God.
should I say delicious?
Oh my God. This is the best meal we could ever ask for.
Or you're not even
Prepared with
looking.
so much
Your
love.
eyes are still closed.
Oh, yeah, your eyes closed.
It's because God.